You never know, like.
6 weeks of lockdown, I gotta just commit.
Do you know? 100%, like, get balls deep in it.
Right.
Podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you everyone who tunes in every week.
I'm hyping you up.
Kind of pumping me up. The weekly show where I have a new guest on every week and we just have a chat. It's, as James Kavanagh once called it, an earwig into a conversation with a guest every week, which I quite like as a description. With me this week is one of Ireland's hottest exports.
Oh, hello. Is there another guest?
Oh, stop. Kyla O'Connor, better known as Kyla Cobbler. Kyla.
Yes.
That's a fucking tongue twister if I ever heard one.
Oh, here, look. Kyla Cobbler is a tongue twister for you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, when I said it there, well, see, it's because Kyla O'Connor, Kyla Cobbler, trying to say them together was just... But come here.
Well, you can just say Kyla Cobbler.
Can I just call you Kyla?
Grand.
I'll call you just Kyla, you call me Podge.
Okay, whatever. We'll just see what happens with it, like, shut up.
Just don't call me early in the morning, that's all. Kyla, how are you? How are things?
Fucking, I'm freaked. I don't know what's going on over here. It's been a crazy week. The bar closed where we were.
Yeah, you're over in Barcelona, right? Extensive research done there.
Jesus Christ, you know everything about me. It's like an open book.
You're from, okay, actually, you're originally from, I'm definitely going to pronounce this wrong, Ballincollig?
Ballincollig.
Ballincollig. Ah, okay, wasn't too bad. Do you know, like when you go like
West Village.
Circling, nice. The west side of Ballincollig.
No big deal. Gang past. We'll go into it later. But
do you know when you like
research
all these Irish villages and like you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna fucking butcher this. But that wasn't too bad.
Yeah. I did a quiz on Friday with Cornelius the comic. He does a live quiz every Friday. And they were like, name all these towns in Cork, lads. I haven't a fucking clue. I don't know. I didn't know any of them. I was like, all right, yeah, man. But you tell me anything.
You haven't been in Cork.
I can't see Shane, you know that. Should I be able to see Shane?
No, Shane's turned off his... This
is the podcast.
This is the podcast, not the Shane cast.
Well, sorry, lads. You told me to put on gallery view. What was the point? What are you doing in the blackness? All I can see is the blackness.
It's because my voice comes through gallery view. See what I mean?
Ah, I see.
Yeah. I mean, I can leave and you and Shane, it could just be a really weird episode of the podcast where I'm not even there and the two of you can just like, I mean, you can just wait outside for an hour. I mean, we can talk then later. You can ask me whatever questions you need to ask. Yeah. Just get them out of the way, then you can spend the rest of the hour with Shane. But you haven't been in Ireland in a good few years. You were saying you were in Milan for 7 years and now you're in Barcelona.
I think about 10 years. I did EOS for a season, then came back, went to Australia in October, did that for a year. And then I fell in love, and then I went to Italy, and then I've been in Barcelona. So about 10 years. Like, I'm terrible with concepts of fucking time, though, like measurement of time. Yeah,
but like in the midst of a pandemic, everyone is. So don't be worrying.
Oh my God, yeah.
It could be like 15 years. It could be 25 years. Who knows?
Here, actually, Shane and Podge, how are ye? I know everything's so hard at the moment. That must have been an absolute fucking game changer.
It was weird. Like it's a very weird feeling if you compare it to the first lockdown, right? You know, the first lockdown, I think there was this homogenous concept of like, you know, okay, everyone's in this together, and it was kind of a worldwide view as well. Majority of like the Western world has gone into some sort of a lockdown. Well, most countries, anyways. And that was 6-7 months ago, and this lockdown just feels. It's so much more depressing. And that's the only word.
I think we've lost a bit of hope. But it's called hysteria. Like, if I've been watching some of the comedians this morning on Instagram, and people are just losing their shit, and it's hilarious. People are like, okay, fuck it. And they're just more game, you know?
There was like one place, I think it's Alfie's, Dublin, put up a post being like, we'll stay open if you all do. And then, like, I'd say in the space of like 10 minutes, it was just forced to take that post down because everyone's like, shut up, shut up.
Yeah, you have to, otherwise they'll never get home. And also, I was reading on the Irish news, because I don't really like keep up with Irish news because I don't live there, obviously. Now, a little bit, of course, because it's my soul and my home and all that crack. But it was like, you're going to get fined for mass.
Yeah.
I just want to appreciate Ireland for a moment.
Big ups to home dogs. Home peeps, I got you. I'm making it big, but I'll never forget where I came from.
Namaste. So basically, they were like, you get a fine if you don't wear a mask. But lads, I have been wearing a mask since the start. Like, there was no choice. You had to. And you know what they were doing? You would either get a €300 fine or like a month in prison. Like, it was something ridiculous. Or it was like €150 fine. Like, it wasn't that much. It was enough, but it wasn't that much.
They're very fucking polar opposites.
Do you know? Like... But it was kind of like, because in that way, I think it was like, you'd be the thick one if you didn't wear the mask.
Yeah.
Because it's like, would you be going to prison for a month? Like,
what happens if you like forget your wallet on the street and you're like, oh fuck, and they're like, right, off you go to prison for a month.
Prison, lads. If I get brought to prison, lads, that's me in a gang. I mean, I would definitely rule the roost. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? West Village, Ballincollig. Put me in a Spanish prison, lads. I'd have Rodrigo and Juan running after me as my slaves. It would change my whole life, lads. I had no choice but to wear a mask.
You come out with like just face tattoos, like absolutely ripped.
Familia above my eyebrow. Whoa, Kyla really changed. It's Kylisha now.
But come here, talk to you. Okay, actually, before I go into you, what is the sus in Barcelona? Because Spain's still pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah, Spain's shit. Yeah, it's really shit. So basically, we just went in. We're like a week into I don't know the phases. I know that sounds ignorant, and excuse me, but I've just never learned them because there's too many of them and they don't make sense. But we're at the phase where you can't sit in a restaurant. Like, the bars are closed. And then, do you know what else was closed and I didn't know? So hairdressers are open, but the beauticians are closed.
I feel like that's more of like because I've never once been to a beautician, but I'm funny enough you should say that. One of my mates was messaging a girl and then messaging another girl, and both of them had mentioned like they got waxing, and he was like, is that just a thing that like women love doing?
But do you think that we're born with no pubic hair? Do you think it never comes?
No, what? Sorry, what? But girls don't poop either. What are you on about? No,
I think it's a thing.
I think he was just like it's funny that the girls are like, you know, oh fuck, it's a big thing. But then like, I get you.
It just brings, because it makes it normal, Podge. Do you know what I mean? Like, it makes it, I know it sounds silly, but like all those little rituals of going and getting your waxing done, I mean, they make you feel nice, and they're things that, you know, that you do it for yourself. You don't do it for fellas, like, or you don't do it. Like, I've got friends who just love bush and don't wax, and more power to them. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, like, I can do my own waxings when it comes to armpit and tash. But I mean, my mini, I need help. Like, I can't be doing that myself.
I think as well, a lot of, like, for me when I go to the gym and that, it's not really to impress the opposite sex. I mean, it's great, like, you know, if you're ripped, which I'm not. But like, I'm talking about, like, you know, I do because you come home with the lads and you might be like, oh, like, I benched this much, and it's not really in a boastful way. It's as you said, it's nice. No, to
it's
feel
really
it.
good. I think in Ireland we have a problem with complimenting ourselves. That's excellent. Like, you're taking care of yourself. You're being kind to your body, and your mind and body are one thing. So this thing of being like, oh, she's at the gym again, or she posted again. Fucking why not? Like, let her post her gym if it makes her feel good and she's getting a buzz off herself. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to be.
I've never actually done. And you're a yoga teacher, aren't you?
No.
Are you not a yoga teacher?
No. Are you?
No, I'm not a yoga. I've never done yoga. But do you not do
yoga teacher?
Do you not do yoga?
I literally just started it on like yesterday, you little stalker.
See, this is funny. So you're not a teacher?
You obviously just saw one photograph on my Instagram of Val. The lady on my Instagram, people, is Val from Cork. She does online yoga classes, and it's €60 for 4.
That was what it was. I thought that was you.
No, I wish.
Oh, fuck.
I'm fully tattooed. That girl has like no in that photograph. And my mom, though,
she's like 50 meters away. I wasn't like. Now is that Kyla's tattoo there? I see on the left. That must be her.
But my mom put it now, like, lads, I've got a sleeve on my back and my legs done. And my mom was like, "You look as flexible, Kyla." And I was like, "Mom, that's not me."
See, if your ma's making the fucking mistake, okay, understandable. So.
I'm even talking to my mom. Tell me, Podge.
Yeah, actually, speaking of which, you done a live show with I'm Grand Mam, didn't you?
Yeah.
How was that? The two lads are lovely.
They're fucking legends. They're so sound. And I get really nervous. Like, really nervous. Because I love kind of having the crack, but when I'm in the middle of it and I have to be funny, I get a bit embarrassed. And they put me at ease. Them and the gin tonics, lads. What a laugh we had.
I mean,
honest to God.
Which one at most?
I'm like, there was 2 guys there? Seriously?
Wait, who was there? I was in front of people. I thought I was fucking facing the back wall. And where are you, like, so what's the cases like over there? Because, like, you said there that you keep up to date with Irish news in the sense that, you know, it's your home and obviously you're talking to people.
Yeah, I guess because of my online presence too, it's kind of hard not to.
Yeah, exactly. But
and
then for Spain, I'm completely ignorant to what's going on there in terms of cases. And, like, is there a high
I don't know how many cases there are, you know that. And also because it keeps changing. Like, it goes up. It's so ridiculous. Like, it goes up. Like, I'm not into, like, So I love conspiracy theories, right? Now I'm starting to hate them after the coronavirus because it's way too focused on coronavirus.
Is that a tinfoil hat? I think on your head. I think it is a tinfoil hat on your head.
What are you talking about? That's a condom. There. That's a condom on blue tack, so when I need to bang and I don't want to get up.
No,
it's really handy.
It's
I'm going to demonstrate.
Conspiracy theorists wear a tinfoil hat. That's like what the fuck did the condom come out?
What do you mean, lad? Safe sex. Look,
it's brilliant, but it was just not nowhere near when I was talking.
You were like, have you got a tinfoil hat on your head? And the only thing that was made of tinfoil was the condom. And I was like, no, that's the condom.
That's actually great though. Not worse than having to get up and go find one and go root for one.
Ruins the mood. Even just trying to get it on, because I'm not I don't know what dorks were thinking making. I mean, they should make the bit that goes inside out a different colour, just slightly. So you know which way you put it on.
And there's nothing, and then you're rolling, you're and then the girls kind
of. And you're trying to be sexy as well, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to put this on you now. It's so hard to do. Or
if a lad has to get it, you kind of get up, and then you're walking over to the drawer, and then the girl's kind of sitting there in the bed, and the lad's and it kind of flicks, and then I know.
And then sometimes it's a bit dark. I mean, you might have put on dim lighting because you wanted to create an ambience.
You're walking into
things. You can't see properly. Mind you, there's candles, there's fire, we've got elements involved. I mean, all it takes is a road gust of wind and that's us fucked. A condom fire, I want to be safe. I just blue tack the bastard to the wardrobe and say nothing, lads. It's an absolute win.
You should work for the HSE. There'd be some.
I do work for the HSE.
There'd be some.
Don't. Condoms are cool. You want to hear the funniest thing? So my first time that I had sex, my mom was really open. She was really cool about it because she got pregnant quite young. And she was like, I want you to be responsible. I know what you're doing, whatever. So we go and she gets everyone out of the house and I go to have sex and turns out I'm allergic to latex.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
And I was
out? Everyone was like, what was it like? I was like, it was alright, but it burnt a lot. It really burnt. And I was like, but I'm not sure. I was only 16. I had a fucking clue, lads. I was afraid of my vagina until I was 20. I didn't know what was going on. So now I have free latex condoms. And hence why I always have the condoms, because I can't use them if they're latex. And not everybody gets latex-free condoms.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is Durex probably some latex-free?
Yeah, all of them do now. Skin is the best one. Do you use condoms, Podge?
I do. You have to.
Good for you.
I think though it's so funny because it's still a taboo topic to talk about. Sex is still a taboo topic to talk about.
People are terrified.
When people do talk about it, often becomes too I don't know if it's the word vulgarize. It doesn't
for sure.
It's not just talking about the topic of sex. It's just completely the
especially
opposite
for
side.
A woman.
Yeah.
For a woman, people always say, "Oh, she has no filter," and I'm like, that's not true at all. I really monitor what I say. I'm just not afraid to talk about writing because it's unreal, and we all do it, and it should be normal, and we should enjoy it. It should feel empowering.
95% of the time, it's unreal. There's times where you come out and go, "Geez, I wasn't on my best game there. That wasn't."
I know, but even that's grand. Because if you're in a good, imagine if it was a word, but even when you're shit, and you can just have a laugh off it and be like, it's grand, whatever.
Yeah, that's always. I remember I was with someone once. I got with her twice, we'd say, and the first time it was good, and the second time very poor performance on my behalf. But it was really because of the first time was good. That whole awkwardness afterwards, we were like, oh shit, it was gone because
totally.
Well, she knew I worked. She knew I worked previously, so we just laughed about it.
Yeah, but the whole point is that I think what happens is that we're taught that your penis or your erectile penis has something to do with me. If you can't get it up, I'm not going to automatically assume it's my fault. And girls are like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, stop saying sorry. Stop fucking, you're going to make it worse. Just laugh it off. Get involved. Teamwork makes the dream work. Believe to achieve. Hope for the best, And this is the thing. If you have to think oh, it's my fault, it was poor, or it didn't work, that's not true. That happens. That's not a big deal.
You should definitely, you should do something campaign for the HSE. That'd be so funny. Blue tack and I can't think of something funny.
Keep it close to the bed. Isn't that such a good idea though?
No, it actually is. Just make sure it's blue tack and not a thumbtack, because then you're causing.
What do you mean it didn't work? You can't put holes in these things. What?
Let me talk about you and your video and your content creation, because I only came across you recently, and that was through a friend of mine, Rachel. She had you up in her story, and then she's like, I think the caption was, "The only girl who can make me laugh in quarantine." How cute! And I went into it, and it was your kind
Rachel.
It was your mock video of an influencer going around your house. I'm pretty sure it was your house in Barcelona.
Interior design.
Interior design, and
interior design.
And when I see long stories, I really not dislike them, but I'm always like, ugh. But
I know I lose a lot of men with a lot of boxes. Not vagina. I mean little ticks on the thing. Apparently having 2 vaginas is weird.
That's what I said, but having 3 penises. But yeah, and then I came across you and thought you were hilarious. But look, I'd never seen any of your videos before then. But like doing a bit of research, talk to me about like how you started making videos and kind of where the.
I think I started making them on the Instagram because on the Instagram.
Yeah, I was just gonna say on the Instagram.
I think as well, like I was living over in Italy and I didn't have any Irish friends. So at the very beginning, it was just that. And then I started to I mean this, and I'm very respectful of Instagram and I really appreciate what it's given me, but it is kind of cock and balls, like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone kind of selling this lifestyle and I'm like, come off, mate, you're dying inside. You hate yourself, be honest, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, that's very much agree there. Mm-hmm. I definitely agree there, because we were talking about that last week, I think.
And I just wanted to make something real for women now, and men, more than welcome, but for women, I felt like, especially with the bloggers and influencers, lads, it's a very high standard to keep up with as a female if that's the idea you're selling of beauty.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure to feel. And I'm guessing too for fellas, like you see fellas at the gym and the poses and stuff like that. And I'm like, lads, when I go to the gym, I'm fucking disgusting because I'm going to sweat my balls off and to release tension and to be, as I said before, kind to myself. So this idea of going there in light pink Puma matching fucking leggings and crop top with white as runners and not sweating with my hair down, I'm like, false.
Makeup
this is
full on. Photo
like,
shoot going. Oh my god, I feel so refreshed after that 3-hour workout.
Yeah, that kind of and they're like, get my steps in, girls, you know yourself. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry now. Like, and then what happens is that people think they see this idea of a woman or of an Instagrammer and they're like, God, it's so easy for them. And it's not. Show how hard things are. Show that it takes time and consistency and determination to do something. And then that's a better example for people. Instead of this thing of waking up and putting on a filter, even that, putting on a fucking filter. Are we not supposed to have freckles or wrinkles? We're not fucking porcelain dolls. Like,
do you follow, like, sorry, Corona. Do you follow? I won't follow her regularly at all. I assume like her content's not aimed towards me, I guess. But Rosanna Purcell.
No, I've seen some of her. She's very empowering, isn't she?
She is, and she
puts up.
Like, yeah, a lot of I think it was during quarantine. I seen it most, but it was like she put up a photo of the Instagram photo, and then like side by side simultaneously, it would be the photo that was taken 3 seconds later with like and literally body shape looks completely different.
Totally, though. But that's that even how you wear your clothes, and I mean, it's so easy to fall in, especially as a young. Do you remember what do you do? Can I ask you, Pod?
I'm old enough.
Stop it.
Shane's jealous.
Looks like I'm going to have to get my condom off my wardrobe again.
Just the one with the blue tack, not the thumbtack. I'm not old enough to be having children. I'm 25.
You're 25. So do you remember, like, when I was 15, 16, lads, if I would have seen those things, like, can you imagine the pressure for younger people living in a world with phones and Instagram and stuff and this, like, and not knowing, like, thank God for people like Rosanna Purcell. Thank God for her. She's saying, look, both are grand, but know that it's edited and it's modified and it's filters and, you know what I mean? It's not real human body, you know?
Have you seen the Social Dilemma on Netflix, no?
No, I'm terrible though. I spend a lot of time outside.
Oh.
I don't really watch TV and stuff. What is it about?
Someone's
got a bit of titty.
So the Social Dilemma is about. I just talked about like, social media and like the dangers of it now, and like it's a documentary from the. And it's the guys who are talking about it are the people who created all these intelligence and tech developers for Google and Facebook. And
algorithms.
Yeah, and but one of the things.
My favourite word.
Just randomly using a sentence.
Don't touch the algorithms.
Hi, can I have two vodka cokes algorithm, please? Thank you. But like there was a really mad statistic where it showcased like the dangers of social media, and one of them was like the suicide rate growing. It was amongst young girls, and I think between the age of 10 and 14, this only in America, I think the suicide rate has gone up 160%, and between the age of like 15 to like 19, gone up like 130. Something insane.
I know. It's so scary, like, and that's why I like doing the characters when I do the sketches and I do the characters, because I'm just showing people, you know, how easy it is to switch from one to the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to realize that it's bullshit, like, because when I do the blogger, when I did the interior design, like, if you turned off the volume and you didn't listen to what I was saying, I look like them.
Yeah.
You know, you can do it, like, you can, I know I'm talking about buttholes and like all this ridiculous, stupid things, you know, just have a skit, but it's just, there's way too much pressure there, lads. And I think my Instagram, and I've always said I'd never sell it, even if I got to 10k, because you know, after 10k you can do swipe ups. I was like, I'm never selling anything. These can fuck off. I don't want any presents, any stuff. And I didn't. And now it's like going really well, and I have a really cool following. I'm like, I don't even get mean people, you know that?
Really?
I mean, sometimes, but I just video call them. The minute I get a bad message, I video call them. I'm like, let's go, cunt. Do you want to talk to me? Like,
who was it said that? Actually, I think one of the It Gals said that when they get like a mean message, they just send a voice note, and you know the person's just not expecting that back. They're like,
humanize it, like you're speaking. You wouldn't open your fucking mouth, but it's the same with working. I've worked in Irish pubs all my life, like. Working now, we have this generation of cool cocktail makers, right? But Irish pub bartenders are a different breed because you have to deal with all sorts of people, right?
Oh, I work for a drinks brand, so I'm well aware.
You know the crack, like. I mean, and even when people are rude to me in the pub, and I'm like, if I was sitting behind a cash register desk in the supermarket, you wouldn't dream of saying that to me.
Yeah. You
know, when they're sexual or they're making rude comments, whatever. And it's the same with Instagram. Like, you have to call people out and make it as human as possible. It's like, I'm a person. I'm doing my best and I'm putting myself out there. And who the fuck do you think you are, you know?
Has anyone ever answered?
No, of course not.
Yeah,
of course not.
I'd be so spooked.
You know, they're pussies, like.
But I don't understand. Like, I don't understand where people. I love having on Instagram, like, some of people put up stories, never really in the comments because I don't see the purpose of the comments, but like someone put up a story, I might disagree with it, and I genuinely enjoy a good discussion on Instagram.
Me too. All about it.
Yeah, it's great, and like people have opposing opinions, and then that's great, and like it's left like as a discussion should be left, and it might be an argument to an extent, but like it's a civil, you know, argument. In the end,
but it's very hard, Podge, when you're writing, when you're typing something, it's very hard to understand the intent behind it.
Yeah, or it's like it's very hard to read it the way it's written.
That's what I'm saying, the intent behind it.
Oh, sorry.
Like, but my fella, we made,
I said, fuck, sorry.
Good job, Podge. Keep going. So anyway.
Well, that's all we have time for this week. Thanks a million, Kyla, for best of luck at Barcelona.
Even with I'm in an early relationship now. It's only 4 months, but our first big fight where when I was like, fuck this, was all over WhatsApp. We met up after about 10 minutes. We just realised it was a misunderstanding. Like, there was a problem there, but it was definitely by no means.
And it was his fault, but it was, and it was their fault.
Yeah. No, but it wasn't his fault. It was genuinely, I think we were like, I can't even remember it now, I will show you, but fucking writing stuff and reading into it, because it just depends on the mood you're in. Like, if you're looking to fight, or if you're looking, like, you find what you're looking for. Even these people who are overly jealous and they go online and you liked this person's, I could fucking no more have time to be going on searching for what you fucking liked or didn't like.
Yeah,
and then you find shit. If you go looking, smelling shit, you're gonna find shit.
But like, it's always like it's gas, like the almost hypocrisy from a lot of people. I mean, like, look, humans inherently, and I know myself, there's definitely been instances where I've been hypocritical. Like, I think there's a part of us that there's a hypocrisy trait there.
Of course.
But you love to see people who are like posting about mental health and looking after yourself, and then they're also the same people who are writing stuff under like young people's comments, or being like, oh, you're so disgusting, or like stuff like that, or like, I don't know, I just find it so. It's
just because the people are saying what they think you want to hear in that moment, and they're not understanding that words are important and that what you say is important. And as I talk a lot of shit, and I'm always talking about sex, and this is genuinely, it isn't to be outrageous and it's not to be extreme. It's just because, I mean, if we can sit and talk about all this bullshit about makeup and hair and gym, and we can't talk about our own mental health, our own body issues, our own confidence, I mean, that's a shit way to live.
Yeah.
We can't have this huge platform on Instagram where, as you said, it's so hypocritical. Like, it's so hypocritical. Like, it's so fucking full of shit. And it's very frustrating to watch as well, you know. And this thing, can you imagine me having a conversation with you all the time like this? Like, isn't it just so creepy?
But like, I hate people who are like, and I'm not hate because I don't know them, but I really dislike the traits of some people when they're like, oh, you got to be positive all the time. No, you don't.
My God,
You've got to be
off,
sad
like...
because then you appreciate being happy. That's the whole purpose of emotions.
Do you know? Like, have you never seen one of those 90s posters? You can't have me at my best, my worst, all that shite. There's no thunder without rain. The silver linings through the smoke. Come on to fuck, like, you gotta have your ups and downs, yin and yang.
I mean,
I had a
like,
shit day yesterday.
Did you?
Shit day.
What happened?
Yeah, and I drank for the wrong reason, and I got drunk, and I sent you a voice note.
But like, I just thought you didn't seem drunk at all. You were just like, yeah, ready, or what was it you said?
No,
you said,
I was actually looking for Henry. I was like,
oh, actually, now that I think about it, yes. Sorry, that does sound much more drinking juice than I originally thought.
Did you get the photographs?
What photographs? Oh, I put them up online. They're on Twitter.
Just throw the dick pics. Kyla? What the?
It's like the yoga thing all over again. I couldn't tell because it's really far away.
Yeah. I didn't know it was you. Do you not do yoga? But that's the whole thing. Like, having your bad days, drinking for the wrong reasons. Sometimes we get back with people we don't want to. We have to normalize it because everyone does it. Every single person. You know what I mean? Everyone. And it would be so much easier to deal with if you could openly talk to people about it. And I'm not saying we all have to fucking talk to each other. And you know what? Not everybody, like, my fella doesn't talk that much at all. He's not a big communicator. You know what I mean? So he's not like, he's perfect. Shut the fuck up and show me your dick. What?
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's all you need. You don't need to talk. You don't need to talk. I don't like you. What's your name again?
And that's the argument. That was the argument from Instagram or from WhatsApp. That's what the argument was.
I'm like, he doesn't speak English. My English is perfect. He doesn't speak English.
Is he Spanish or?
I'm from Longford.
So then he definitely doesn't fucking speak English.
Yeah, he's Spanish. He's from here. But like, in saying that, like, even this thing, you can't deal with something so widespread with one method. You know, and maybe those big pushing positivity every day. It's a great day. Smile instead of frown. Take 16 muscles to wank. All this shit. Maybe that really works for someone. Like, so fucking more power to you. Get involved, but you have to make room for people who are just don't get reassurance from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just about finding, and the more we talk about it, and the more people start talking about it, the more it gets pushed out there, the easier it'll be. And why Instagram could be a really powerful tool, I feel. And that's why I keep my page as authentic, and I hate that word, but it's the only word that describes what it is.
It's me, authentic. And it's only me.
It's just me. It's the Kyla show.
It's the Kyla show. Have you had many? Yeah, sorry. So yeah, you started making videos. That was the purpose of you making videos at the start, was it? To kind of keep it like...
Just keep it real. I never expected this.
Yeah. And what?
Never expected.
Like, have you said you're not like selling? I love. Sorry, when you were saying like, you know, I'll never sell stuff. I was like, oh, I have to put up an ad for Huawei later on. So I was like, But
no, I don't mean no. I would sell something. I have no bother promoting something that I use. No bother.
What about me?
If you ever make me like that again, you filthy whore. Shane, leave the room. It's going to get hot.
we're moving from Spotify to like
one-eyed wink to me.
We're moving from
I'm not made of stone.
From YouTube to RedTube, and that's what this is.
OnlyFans, what's up? Me and Podge doing weird stuff.
Have you had many like brands reach out to your stuff and you're kind of like,
Yeah, loads. But then I'm dyspraxic, right? I've got dyspraxia. Shout out to my dyspraxic girls. What's going on, ladies? And so I can't wear like jeans or anything. Like, I can, but I don't fucking want to because it makes my brain fucked. So like, I can't even wear anything. And that's the whole point. I said to people, I have no problem in promoting stuff, but I'm not just going to promote shit just to get the money off the 10% sale. I worked in fashion for 7 years. High fashion, proper sales, like millions of euro. I've done it. I've sold my soul. You know what I'm saying? I was a leather specialist. That's python, alligator skin, all this shit. I opened a store with a brand. Lads, I did it. It's awful. It's shit. It's boring. And it's all bullshit. Yeah. And I'm talking from the inside of the monster's belly. Like, genuinely. So I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I sold, you know, I got for free, which was fucking class. I'm pro marijuana, you know. And it's like a pipe made from bog oak
Oh.
Isn't that so class? So this guy went for these all these oak trees and bogs and made little pipes to smoke with.
That's cool. From where?
Celtic bog pipes, it's called. It's fucking so cool. And I was like, you know what? That's so crafty. That's so smart. And you don't have to smoke weed in it. I mean, you can smoke crack if you want. If you want to do something more easier.
Not that we're promoting that.
Just kidding, everyone. Don't take drugs. Unless you want to, then you should try them in the woods. Not in discotheques.
Try them in the bog. We know a lovely place that sells all the equipment you need.
Smoke the weed in the bog. Wear willies, make it risky.
Yeah, I do find it like if I was to promote something, it'd be something that I would need to use or actually use myself. Do you know what I mean?
Because then it's just recommend. That's just being sound. If you actually like something, like for
if
sure.
If you ever see me selling teeth whitening strips, know that I've sold out. Know that that's me.
No, right. I have a teeth whitening kit from Pat from Sue's Clinic. It's fucking amazing, lads. It's amazing. I never thought I wanted it until I had it, and I was like, holy shit, my gnashers are gleaming. I haven't started using it yet. I got it at Christmas. And then I got another one.
Yeah.
And he sent one over for my fella too, which was so sound. And it was an absolute power move for me, because I was like, got your free gift off the gram. Don't worry about it, love.
You're with me now.
Don't have to work anymore, baby. I'm going to make you famous. Name and life.
You don't have to learn
That's
that.
showbiz.
You don't have to learn that English. You got me.
Not at all. Show me those pearly whites and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I take
Stay
my
hard.
I love. Did you see those email addresses? I don't know why this popped into my head, but like loads of people are signing their emails, being like, "Oh, hi Kyla, hope you're staying positive and testing negative." But
yeah, it's so bad, isn't it?
Oh.
So, and also, I don't know, like, what's your crack? What do you think about the corona? What do you think? Like, do you think because the flu itself isn't life-threatening. It's only life-threatening to people who are vulnerable or who are already sick, and it can kill you and stuff. But there's loads of people saying, like my friend, right? She's a doctor in the emergency room in Italy, and she was like, in Italy, Pod, and I don't mean to sound mean, but there's so many old people.
Oh yeah, Italy has. I don't know if the podcast I listen to Dave McWilliams. He's like an economist in Ireland. Italy has I think the highest elderly population in like Europe.
They never die.
They just keep going.
Seriously.
Yeah, but
they hang around with each other like in the parks at like 80.
They have a huge elderly population, and they're actually quite a worryingly young population, I think.
But this is what my friend was saying. She was like, Kyla, I have patients that come into me that have had lung transplants and heart transplants and are still smoking and still eating fatty foods, and then coming in and like using up resources. And it's so interesting because the compassionate side of me, the human side, is like, no way, that's someone's grandmother, that's someone's sister. Like, we can't think of it as a number thing. But then at the same time, you're like, if you've had a fucking heart transplant, you're still smoking fags. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's difficult. It's I think it's not as black as white as people are coming from. Everyone now is like taking sides.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm very grey on it. I'm very like, I haven't a clue what to make. And I just think everyone should do their best.
That's it. Yeah, I think everyone should. One thing I don't think it's this big governmental conspiracy theory to try and get more power. That's just something I don't really.
Did you hear the 5G one?
Oh my god.
You should get better internet.
5G.
Okay.
But sure, you look at America as well, and like a place like that, and it's kind
They're
of
fucked. Like ever since, like if Donald Trump is the president of America, I remember watching him on The Apprentice.
Yeah, but sure, like I remember watching him on. He done a roast. He done an MTV roast, and they got like all these like comedians to roast him, and they made like it was really funny. Like it's quite dark, but it's really funny. Of course,
he's comedy gold. He's a dick.
But like this, and then at the end, he stood up and said, "I'm running for president in 2012," and everyone on the stage burst out laughing. The prick won. The prick not only ran, he won.
Like, but that's insane. Like, Pod, can you understand that we're living in a moment of history that's so bizarre? But it's like we're going to be talking to our grandkids, as in me and you. A couple to our grandkids being like, you're not going to believe this.
The kid that comes from and the parents came from that like thumbtack that was in the condom, and that's.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and he's going to look so like Shane, and it's going to be such a confusing love triangle.
But like it's funny how like we are going through like something that was 100% going to be the history books. But if you look at the likes of the Spanish flu, the World War II, and like the entire world at that time was on their knees and scared shitless, and everyone here is just like on their phones being like, it's all a conspiracy theory.
I know, and if you spend that much time fucking writing about conspiracy theories and just kind of doing your best and hoping for the best. And also, right, it's a conspiracy, right? Let's just say it's true. Have you not got fucking bigger fish to fry if it's all true than wearing a bloody mask? Like, seriously, if it is a conspiracy theory and it's all true, the mask means nothing then.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, what symbolizes, it doesn't, the chip, we have they're little robots all day with us that tell you where we are.
That's
like why would you be bothered?
We're like cyborgs at this stage. Like, these are a part of us. You cannot go around without. And if you find someone who doesn't have a phone, you're like, that is so strange. Like, fair play to you, but really strange.
Totally. And you know what drives me fucking nuts, if I may? When I was single, this thing of asking for your Instagram, when people are like, instead of asking for your phone number, they're like, have you got social media? And I'd be like, no, because I wouldn't like to give mine because it's so personal, because I'm very open on it, and like people get to know me on it. And if I'm dating someone, I want to keep my cards close to my chest, you know. Bit of mystery at the beginning. Not like straight away in with the fucking condom in the wardrobe, you know.
Keep the cards close to your chest, and then hopefully bring them close to the chest.
But like, I have to blow my nose, lads. 1 second. Can you wait? Just 2 minutes?
Yes, we can, of course.
Yeah, thanks. I won't be long. It's right here.
But yeah, Kyla, so one thing I actually wanted to ask you this, because I was doing my poor research, and one thing that came up was a story about you stopping drug traffickers in Italy.
Yeah, I did. It's so annoying. They scandalized. It was such a good story, and the newspaper took it and made it even more ridiculous. And I was like, it was so good anyway. Right, why would you put arms and legs on it?
Clarify. Let's go for the story.
Yeah. So basically, I was living in Italy. I had just moved out. I had a failed engagement. I was supposed to get married. Moved out. Had my own little place, and I was like, I have to get debt free. This was like this mental block, because I kind of had a lot of debt, but it was silly. Like €1,000 here, €2,000 there, but it ended up being quite a lot. So I was like, my whole focus for this year is going to be debt free, right? So I started working Podge, like shit. I had 2 jobs. I had my career in fashion, then I was working in Irish pubs in the evening. I was doing every rave, because in Italy there's loads of raves. So you work from like 12 in the night until 6 in the morning, but like everyone's off their tits, so you're just giving out waters. It's unreal, and you get like €90. So I'm working, and I get a text from a friend from Dublin saying, my friends have just gotten married in Australia. They're coming over to Europe to do the surf season in Portugal and the snow season up in Switzerland, and they need an address for the visa. And I'm like, grand. Do I need to do anything? No, grand. Put down my address. She's like, I'm going to put you in a wee Facebook group just in case. And I say, fine. So months pass, I'm working my balls off, skinny as fuck, off my fucking head. Like, I was just working so much, but like really doing well. Like, I was paying off my debt in class. And then your man texts me from the couple, and he's like, we're coming up to Switzerland from Portugal. We need a car part from Amazon. Can we send it and we'll meet you at your gaff? And I was like, yeah, for sure, you know. So the package comes, I meet up, give him the pack, and then I go about my business again, I'm working an average of like 75 hours a week. Then he texts me again a few months later with the same request for something else. And I'm like, yeah, grand, whatever. And I was like, look, don't fucking text me, like, just do it and tell me when it's there, because I don't care, you know. And I mean that in a nice way, but I don't really have time. So he's like, yeah, grand. So then, this is like in December, I'm in work in the boutique, and like where I used to work is a store. It isn't like you can't just walk in. You need an appointment, you know, because it's like high-end fashion, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's an insect. And then I'm in work, like dressed up, and this couple come in Italian. I'm like explaining the leathers and the bags and stuff, and I was like, look, you want to come back tomorrow with an appointment? We can do a made to measure, whatever. And then I go home, and I was living in a 19-meter apartment and with my cat, and it was so dirty because I was working so much. And I get a knock on the door, and which is very odd in Italy. And my doorman was like, kind of, the postman's here. And because it was December, I was like, probably my mom sending over stuff beforehand before it gets busy. So I go downstairs, the wee postman, dressed up as a postman. He's like, you Kyla O'Connor? And I'm saying, yeah. Can you sign this? I says, no bother. So I sign away, and then round the corner, the couple from the boutique, right? And I'm saying, what the fuck? And I was like, hey, I was like, buonasera, you know, like in Italian, whatever. And then they're like, can you open the pack? We're the guys in the Finanza, which is like this really, there's 3 types of police in Milan, like, so in Italy, sorry. If you're the guard of Finanza, it means that you'd first have to study law, become a solicitor, and then become a guard, okay? So it's pretty fucking high-level police work.
Yeah.
And they're like, can you open the pack? And I'm like, lad, I didn't even click. I was like, yeah. So I opened the pack, and there's a big bag of coke and shitloads of pills. And I'm like, and lads, I promise I hadn't. But even your man, Andy is his name, he didn't even come into my mind. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't even like I was just, and the pack wasn't from Amazon. It was just a closed pack with the Kevin on the name from Amsterdam. And I was like, they were like, are these your drugs? And I was like, no. And that's all I could say. No. Just say, no. No, and then more policemen came, like, we have a search warrant to search your gaff. And I was like, oh my God, of course, you know. So I bring them upstairs. The lady, the vanguarder brings me in. I have to cough and squat. They, at this point, think I'm like a drug dealer. So they're ransacking my gaff, lads. But like, because it was a 90-metre gaff, everything was in boxes to like keep it, I'm very clean, you know, to keep it tidy. So they start opening all the boxes, throwing everything. There was condoms off the wardrobe. Lad, it was absolutely nuts. It was absolutely nuts. And the whole time I'm like, no. Then they handcuff me in front of everyone, like all my neighbours. Bring me down into downtown, like down the station. And they have me there for hours. And they're like, so you're telling me you're working a 75-hour week with no cocaine? I was like, I'm poor. Like, I'm genuinely poor. This isn't like... Then they do my bloods and thank God I don't take coke. There was obviously nothing in it. And then I remember your man. But like, do you want to hear the most fucked up thing, Pat? So I'm in this like undercover like SUV Jeep, right, with loads of shades, handcuffed, crying, and the Venga boys come on the radio. We like to party. And I was like, what's wrong with my life? What's happening with my life?
It's like rock bottom there. It's like, what the fuck?
I didn't know what was going on. Oh, and then as well, whenever they found, because in Italy you can have under 2 grams of marijuana and it not be illegal, you know. So they find like 3 grams of weed. They're like, what's this? I was like, yeah, okay, they're my drugs. Okay, like there, I admit it, that's my drugs. But the coke and ecstasy, I don't know who belongs to, you know. So then they finally let me out, but under the circumstance that it was like me or him. So the sentence or the thing was international drug smuggling, with 7 years in jail. So I had to work in cahoots with the shades or with the policemen to catch the Australian guy, because it was like me or him. So this went on for months, but they had followed me, Pod. They had bugged my phone. I went to Croatia for 3 days with my best friend Michele, but because he was working Gucci, I was working Dolce & Gabbana, and we had no free time. So we had 3 days. We took his shitty old car down to Croatia, but like to the first town we can get into, and they were like, it's a transit town. You were moving gear. And I was like, I wasn't. I was not. It was a road trip. There was nothing going on.
Fucking mad.
It was it. But then I couldn't go home for Christmas. I couldn't tell my family. I couldn't tell anyone because I was in danger, technically. So I'm like going through all this thing. And like my friends would casually use those. I work in pubs, lads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was so terrified, you know, that I'd get them in shit or like, because my phone was bugged the whole time. And then every time he texted me, I'd have to go to the police station and make a declaration. So, like, he texted me on Christmas Day saying Merry Christmas with a Christmas tree emoji, and I had to go up there. I was up there 6 hours on Christmas Day. And, like, my friends were like, Kyla, where are you for dinner? Because they invited me to their gaff, obviously, because I had no family there. And I was like, oh, yeah, I just don't feel well. Like, in the fucking shade station. No, it's fucked. This went on for hours. Like, fucked. No, it was crazy. And I ended up getting a really good solicitor, Edo, I was working in a bar as well at the time, I was telling you, you know. And he is like this really famous lawyer. He's got Tourette's, but he's like the best lawyer ever. He's so amazing. And he's my really good friend who is from Iran, her boyfriend. So he defended me and managed to get my name cleared and everything. But I remember even him like, lads, no one believed me that I had nothing to do with it. Everyone was like, no, pure Kyla. And I was like, what? Since when am I come from?
Pure Kyla.
Criminal.
That's the ball in Callaghan. That's what that is.
I was like, I was like, oh, never. Like, what the fuck? I was like, you're nuts. Like, I know I like a bit of crack, but I don't break the law. Like, so I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. This went on for months. Then I again getting my name cleared. And would you believe I said, if I get to 5k on Instagram, because it was honestly like a rally to get followers. It was so funny because I wasn't being a blogger. I was taking the piss. Everyone was getting behind me. I was like, let's get to 5k. And I said, look, if I get to 5k tonight, I'll tell one of the best stories you'll ever hear. And it's much longer, the story, but I won't go into it because I know you're recording whenever. And I told the story, and then it just exploded. And that's when the newspaper wrote to me saying, do you want to talk about it? And I was like, oh yeah, for sure. But then I went on the Cork radio, and your man on the fucking radio station obviously didn't listen to my Instagram story and just read the newspaper Cork. That was false, and asked me questions based on that. And I was really embarrassed and didn't know what to say, and I kept giggling. Because I didn't want to call him out and be like, here, cunt. Like, no, I would. But you know what I mean? I didn't want to call him out and be like, you didn't watch my story. Like, you just didn't. Like, because you know, you can hear. Then I went down to 96 FM with PJ Coogan, and he had obviously watched my story, and we had the best crack over it. Like, he was lovely, you know what I mean?
That's like a banged up abroad. That's what that is. That's a banged up abroad episode.
But it was so scary, lads. And they were saying to me, so some random guy asked you for your address and you say, yeah. I was like, I'm from a fucking island in the Atlantic Ocean. Like, we're a small community of people. We help each other. Like, it's not that rare in Ireland. Like, if someone asked you to do a favour like that, you'd have no bother. Like,
no, I got you.
Or when I was in Australia, I used to get bars my mom would want to be sending me out stuff, and I used to ask the hostel or the bar, can my mom send a pack over? I mean, it's so normal, like human behaviour, to trust and have the benefit of the doubt, you know. Not anymore, though.
Speaking of which, I actually have a package coming to Barcelona. Would you mind?
Yeah, for sure. You can send it to my friend who you want in prison.
Jeez, Kyla, that's absolutely mad. Before we go, I want to ask you, where would I asked everyone who comes on the show, where would you like to see this going? Like, you have a huge following, 43,000 on Instagram, and like you're hugely popular with like great engagement as well. I suppose that's something that is big for like, people with, you know, engagement is probably more maybe important to see people obviously enjoying the content. So what would you, you know, would you come home? Would you like to do something in that kind of
really, I think now, because of everything that's happened in 2020, I'm just like surviving. You know what I mean? Like survival mode. And look, what will be. But I'm really happy. I actually am, and I really love it. I really enjoy it. And as long as I enjoy it and I feel okay with it, I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to hope for the best. Like, I hope in my Patreon, you know that, which is cool. Like, I'm making money off it now, which I never did.
I was just going to say, do you want to plug it? Do you want to give us... Where would you direct people to go? Because I always, like, you know, not that majority
Kyla Cobbler? What do you mean?
As in, like, so people, like, who just have... It doesn't really happen, but say someone has just listened to this podcast and they don't know who you are. Where would you send it to the Patreon first? Would you send it to your Instagram first?
No, Instagram. Total Instagram. Don't worry about the Patreon, only if you can. But there's no panic. There's no... It's such a lovely thing, and I'd never like push it too much, you know, because I understand people are in a different position. But yeah, Kyla Cobbler, Instagram. I'm an Irish comedian and storyteller.
And you just heard a great story there, so you know just how good she is.
There you go, lads. And yeah, it's just, but it's not. I just want people to know that it's not like people are like, "Oh, you're an Instagrammer." I'm like, I'm not. Like, I am, but
you're not like an Instagram influencer in terms of what we just talked about earlier.
Not at all. I'm not a blogger or anything. I just literally go on.
You're a bit of crack.
Eat your fruit. I promote fruit eating.
Okay. I'll make sure
really good.
to eat my fruit when I go home.
Eat your fucking fruit.
Okay.
If you followed me more, you
that was aggressive. That's...
There you go. Eat your fucking fruit. Just shoving a banana into your mouth. Eat it! Shut up and eat it!
Kyla, thank you. On that note, thank you very much for joining me today. It was great chatting to you. It's always good talking to like a comedian and someone who kind of put you in a good mood, certainly in times.
Lovely, lad. You're such a lovely atmosphere. It's really nice. Sometimes I get nervous. This is crack. Thanks so much for having me.
This was good crack, wasn't it?
Yeah. What? A date? All right. Okay.
Yes. I went to a Zoom date there at the start of the second. It was really weird.
What are you doing on Friday night at 8? You want to come into my meeting room?
Yeah. Kyla, look, thanks a million for joining us. It was great talking to you. It's again, as you said, if you're not following you, go over to Instagram, Kyla Cobbler, for some great content to keep you going through the next wave of the lockdown.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening. As always, if you want to get in touch, podgeothepodcast.ie or Podge Henry, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all the social medias.
Shout out to Shane as well.
And shout out to Shane here and Collaborative Studios. We will see you next week. Bye.
Yes. Bye.